Welcome back, everybody. This is me, Matt Johnson, your host for episode number 6 of the FullRange Podcast. We are having a fantastic show to get today. I am super excited. Thank you again for the Ole Walls House Podcast for bringing us to you. We have a great show today, so we're going to kind of dive right into this. So today's episode, it's jam-packed. So I'm going to talk a little bit here at the beginning of the show just of life happenings and things like that have been going on in the last week. I hope everybody's had a fantastic week gearing up for Christmas. We're also going to talk to our good friend Billy Gardner in the Workout Wisdom segment. And then we're bringing in all the boys again. We're bringing in Jordan Wollenberg, host of the Ole Walls House Podcast. We're bringing in Jordan Clark. We're bringing in Billy Gardner. And we're going to rank them again. It's our second time doing it. We're hoping to do it a little bit more. And today we are ranking the top 5 best Christmas movies. So we are going to bring you lots of good movies for you to watch. Also, hopefully a couple laughs as you watch us kind of tear down our top 5s here as we list them. So let's dive right into this thing. So this week, it's been a pretty good week, feeling better, doing good. Basketball's in full swing. Christmas is coming. Obviously, a little bit of a Christmas episode today. We are almost to our first game. So actually, JV out in Troy had our first game this past weekend. We did end up losing by 9. Basically, just kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Lots of turnovers. But, I thought we competed hard, and we'll be ready for Northeast next week as we move forward. So the rest of the week was kind of up and down a little bit with just busyness. Basketball season always puts a little damper on my social life and, being around for my kids' stuff. Marley had a couple scrimmages last Sunday, which was really nice to go to. But besides that, the biggest happening really was my car. I got a little Subaru Impreza for all the back and forth that I do with coaching and everything. And I had like 3 or 4 things go wrong with it. And so I took it up to the shop, had a loaner for 3 or 4 days. And then come to find out Monday afternoon, I get up there and I was expecting $700-800, which is still a lot, especially this time of year with all the Christmas shopping and, all the different festivities, and $1,026 and change. I don't even know what the change was. It really doesn't matter. It was very frustrating, but it's one of those things where, you just got to sometimes bite the bullet and take care of what you need. And, I plan on having this car at least for a long enough time for my oldest daughter to maybe for her to be the first car that she drives. So that was very frustrating. Same night, I go to the Verizon store, and recently my parents got me a brand new iPhone 16 for Christmas, early Christmas gift, and get to the store and come find out I can get an Apple Watch. So I took the leap, got an Apple Watch. Have not been a watch guy for ever. I think I've owned like 1 or 2 watches in my entire life, and I'm loving it though. So I know I'm late to the game. I don't even know when Apple Watches became a thing. But it's been a while, so I kind of feel like I'm a little late to the party. But I really enjoy it. It's nice with the text and the calls, but I really like it for the workout side of things. Going on a run, having it right there, the time, the mileage, calories burned, all that good stuff. I like that I don't have to have my phone in a pocket. I can leave it in the car and go, and I really have everything at my disposal. The Bluetooth to the headphones, it's really nice. I've probably missed out on this boat for years now, and you guys are probably like, get with the times, Matt. But it's been a while, but it's nice. I got one now, and hopefully it lasts a long time and there's no issues. The other thing was the Troy Trojans State Championship game. So last week when we talked on Thursday, they were going into the state championship game in 2A in Pennsylvania against Central Clarion, closer to the Pittsburgh area. And it was down in Cumberland Valley. Our good friend Jordan Clark, who's on later on the episode, came down because he's from that area now. Came over, we hung out basically the whole second half, and what a game! Just even taking yourself away from having a horse in the race, it was so much fun of a game. It was back and forth. Troy fumbles the opening kickoff. Central Clarion gets a field goal. Prior to that opening kickoff, the field goal kickers are out warming up before the game, and the Central Clarion kickers kicking like 50-yard field goals with relative ease. So, they had a good kicker. He makes the first one from 30 yards out or so. Troy comes back, scores a touchdown, kind of has trouble with the extra point, 6-3. They get a stop. They go down, score again. So it's 12-3. The place is going crazy. Over 4,000 or 5,000 people were there. It's been pretty back and forth, but Troy's really competing, holding the ball for a long time, keeping the Central Clarion offense off the field. They go into halftime 12-3. They come out, Central Clarion has the ball, and they start throwing it around. Troy's in man-to-man most of the time, and they're dinking and dunking and hitting some big plays. The quarterback was an unreal athlete. They end up scoring 2 touchdowns with a missed extra point to take a 16-12 lead. After that, Troy scores to make it, 18-16, I believe. Yeah, 18-16 or so, or maybe, something like that. And so Clarion goes down, scores again. There's Wally. What's up, Walls?
My bad. I'll get out of here.
Oh, you're all right. You want to hang out for a minute?
Sure. I mean, I just saw the session was up. I can get out of here. I'll come back.
All right. We'll get you. We'll get you. All right. So Wally will be joining us later. He got a little early start there. But it was back and forth. With 1:03 left, Troy takes the lead, 25-24. 1:03 left, and Central Clarion just basically wasted 20 seconds. They get sacked on the first play. They have to heave it. They end up throwing it deep a few times and have to take their last time out with under, I think it was 6 seconds, 5 seconds. They try to kick a field goal from 50 yards out. And, prior to this, a lot of people didn't really see the warm-ups. And the kid had the distance, and he missed it left, and Troy starts celebrating. So congratulations to those boys, those coaches, the training staffs, the managers, the water boys, all the families. It was an incredible, incredible season, and it's one of those things like that may never happen in my lifetime again. And it's just so unreal. And I've talked to many of the kids that play football this week, and, I congratulate them, and, I'm talking to them and all that stuff. And they all almost feel like there should be another game. And I told them, I can't compare it to anything, but my only thing is everybody usually loses their last game. There's only one team in every sport, individual or team, that wins their last game. And that's usually the team that wins the state championship or the Super Bowl or World Series, whatever it might be. And so there probably is that feeling of like, well, we got to play another one next week. And they've all kind of expressed that feeling to me. And it just, what a ride. And we have lofty goals for our basketball season. And it should be really fun with this senior class. And I'm just so proud of them. And so if you're from the area, I'm sure a lot of you guys were following along. A lot of teachers that I work with were saying they were listening to it on the radio and et cetera, et cetera. And it was an incredible atmosphere. So, and speaking of that, basketball rolling along, we got our Christmas tournament coming up, and we're super excited for that. Our varsity boys are going to have definitely a challenge during that. We're in like the national part of the bracket. So we're playing some really big schools, which will be good for us, at the end of the season. And JV's also in it. So we'll be doing that as well. But on the Christmas side of things, before we kind of dive into the workout wisdom segment with Bill, I want to talk a little bit about, as a teacher, Christmas gifts for teachers. And one of the biggest things is, we, as teachers, if you're a parent out there or a teacher out there, or you don't have kids, but you plan to someday, when your kid is going to school, we love teacher gifts. We love that you guys are thinking about us and appreciate us. And, obviously we love teachers, and they do a ton. But to be honest with you out there, if you're a listener and you have a kid and you're thinking, all right, I got to go to the store this weekend and I got to pick up a gift for my kid's teacher or whatever, at least in my opinion, or things that I feel like are relatively important to us, we don't need any more water bottles. We don't need any more coffee mugs. We don't really even need drawings. And I feel bad for saying that, but we get 3, 4, 5 probably a week that, some of us hang up in the room or hang up on the fridge for a little while, and then it ends up going, to the garbage sooner or later. We don't need any more of that stuff. So if you're going out there to buy your kid's teacher a gift for Christmas, get them a gift card, just $5 to a local coffee shop, a local store, maybe a gas station in your town, here around this area, Dandy Mini Marts and Sheets and all those different things. Get them a gas card for all the running around they do. Personally, you can get me an alcohol gift card. That's fine. Most teachers drink it. So, we're all humans. Give them $10 to the local liquor store or beer distributor. Hand warmers. When we're outside at recess duty or drop off or pickup duty, whatever it might be, those are great gifts. Personalized things are awesome. If it's something within the school year, it's nice to hang up in the room for the kids to see. But really, just keep it simple, people. And not that we don't appreciate the coffee mugs and anything like that. We love them, but our cabinets are full. Our cabinets are full with mugs and water bottles. Just go with the gift card. A nice handwritten card is really, really nice. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. We know when you make us a card, even if there's nothing in it, that you're thankful for us. And that's all that really matters. So be nice to your teachers. Be nice to the people that are important to you. Get them something simple that they're going to use and not just throw away in the garbage or just have sitting in a cabinet for a little while. So with that, we're going to start our Workout Wisdom segment with our good friend Billy Gardner. I know Jordan kind of popped in early, so we're going to hit that with Bill. We're going to talk a little workout recovery today, which is something that I'm not very strong about. I really struggle with really recovering my body after runs and workouts and things like that. So hopefully Bill can give us some new information. And then right after that segment, we're going to hit the We Rank It segment and ranking our top 5 Christmas movies. So hang tight, stay with us here, and we're going to bring Bill in right now. And here he is, as promised. Billy Gardner is here for the Workout Wisdom segment on the FullRange Podcast. How you doing, Bill?
Good, MJ. Good to be here.
Now, for our listeners out there, Bill's going to hang with us here in the next segment to rank our favorite top 5 Christmas movies. So we're going to have him. We're going to have him on for a little bit today. So, but our Workout Wisdom segment today, we're going to talk a little bit of recovery, workout recovery. And this is something I kind of mentioned in the first segment a little bit that I'm a little ignorant in, and not necessarily that I don't know how or what to do. It's just I'm really terrible at it. I don't do a lot of this stuff. I think there's that little bit of fear of, well, if I'm not going hard and not walking, running, lifting, or something's going to set me back a little bit, which is kind of ass backwards. It's not really the positive thing to do, and I know better. So I'm interested to bring Bill in today, and he's going to give us some good information of things that he does, things that he hopes to improve on. I might have some questions for him. Wally's back. What
Here
the?
it comes.
Wally, you just keep going into these
I figured I'd just
different...
make
All right, so
I figured I'd just make a try for the night. So.
Fill the floor here in the Workout Wisdom segment, Wally.
All right, man, I'm out. Just wanted to get the fact in. See ya.
See you, Wally.
Get out of here. Wally is wrecking the podcast today. For those of you who don't know, So, Bill, back to you. Sorry, everybody, for Wally. The damn owner of the podcast feels like he can just pop in whenever he wants. So, Bill, I guess you can start wherever you want, but I guess my first question is like, what's some of the things that you do for your workout recoveries and things like that you're really good at or knowledgeable of?
So there's and I think for the most part, this is pretty basic stuff, but there's definitely things that I need to do better. And there are some things that I feel like I do pretty well that I think are helpful. So some of the things that I need to do better, that I think are super important for recovery. Number one, probably the easiest one, water.
Yeah.
Like, I try to drink water all throughout the day. And then especially like while I'm working out, I try to get a lot of water in. But it's just one of those things where it's like, you'll have those days where it's like, did I have any water today? Like I try to make it a point to have water, but then I just have days sometimes where I'll get to the end of the day and I'm like, man, I did not drink nearly enough water. Just something I forget. It's super easy, but it's something I forget to do sometimes. Another one is stretching. I will I'll do some light stretching when I first go into the gym, but it's pretty passive and quick. I could definitely be more deliberate with that. Some people can turn stretching into a pretty intense workout, really.
Yep.
I'm probably not ever going to go that far, but I could do a little better job of that. And there's some people who stretch at the end of a workout. I've tried to do that a little bit, but it's usually when I'm done, I'm done. I don't want to stand in the corner and stretch.
I mean, just to interrupt a little here, it's like the water thing. I feel like I'm always really good at. There's very rare day where I don't have more than half my body weight in milliliters of water. So, at 170 pounds, I'm usually above 100 milliliters of water every day. The stretching thing, we've been in the gym a lot together, and I stretched at the beginning. From everything that I've read or heard, it's honestly better to stretch afterwards.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in that? Right.
That's what I've seen too. It's supposed to, with the way, obviously working out, it's breaking down the muscle fibers. Stretching helps at the end of the workout, pulls those fibers further apart, and then they build up stronger. So I've seen a lot of stuff that says it's better to do at the end.
Yeah. I just sometimes, and maybe it's just my age a little bit and how much I'm always sore, but I almost have to stretch to get warmed up a little.
I do too. I can't do anything without getting some form of light stretch or warm up or something, because it just aches if I don't.
It takes longer for me to get into my lifts, I feel like, if I don't. And I try not to do any real heavy cardio or anything before. I might go on the bike for 10 minutes or walk for 10 minutes, but then I'm into the lifting and cardio. And then, like you said, after I'm done, man. I don't want to sit there and stretch for another 15 minutes.
No.
It's tough. So something
because usually
to
it's
on there.
I've already been here too long anyways.
Yeah.
So it's I want to get out and I want to go. I don't want to stretch for another 15 or 20 minutes.
Yep. So what else you got for us? What else are you doing?
Another one that I need to be better about is sleep. Sleep's a tough one though, because you can't always control, you can to a certain degree, but sometimes I struggle with sleep because of work. So we might be doing stuff in the middle of the night, or I might be traveling and on for 2 or 3 days straight. So sometimes my schedule is just off and I can't get into a normal kind of sleeping routine. And sleep's super important. I mean, that's you do all these things to break your body down during the day with your running and your lifting and anything like that. When you lay down to go to bed at night, that's when it all builds back up. And that's the most important time to recover. And it's something simple. Just sticking to a routine, but sometimes it's hard to, not have that be interrupted by just life in general.
Yeah. Or if you're like me, you lay down at 10 o'clock and you're on TikTok until 11:30. And then before you know it, you're like, well, I might as well just stay up until midnight and then whatever. Yeah. Another bad thing, like I typically get 6 or 7 hours or so. I would love to get more. I'm a night owl naturally. I've always been able to stay up later, and not a morning person, but I know with all the studies out there and things that I've read and seen, like sleep is probably priority number one, for the, recovery of muscle and metabolism. It's important for that. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of benefits. So, anything else that you're doing consistently that, you feel like might be important?
Yeah. So some of the things that I'm pretty good about, are not so much this anymore, but I still go to the chiropractor quite a bit. I know some people don't think the chiropractor does anything, and I was kind of like that for a long time. But probably a couple of years ago, I started going to the chiropractor, and like pairing it with getting like a professional massage. I was recommended, like, because I started seeing my back was bothering me, so I started seeing the chiropractor, and I've been going like maybe like once every month or a couple months, and just to get like an adjustment, and they'll do that, the electric stim, the pads on your muscles and stuff. And
yep.
I like that stuff. It may not be like, I don't think it makes a huge difference, but for me to go there, it's almost just like a little bit of a reset. It's like you come out feeling, a little bit better, and it's like, all right, a little more energized maybe for the next time you go to the gym.
Yeah. How in depth is the chiropractor that you go to? Like, what kind of things is he adjusting or she is adjusting?
So when I go, they will, the session's not long. I'm not there a long time, but they will adjust my neck, hips. They'll do the hips and then hit every level of my back, upper, mid, lower. And the sessions aren't long. And then they'll get that, like, the gun out and kind of hit some problem areas for you. And like I said, it's nothing crazy, but for me, it feels like a nice little reset.
Yeah. And I've gone to the chiropractor a few times, but it's typically just like neck and back, basically to fix, I have a lot of lower back and hip issues. And, the guy that I see doesn't really go into depth with that stuff. And I don't know if that's just like his training is just more on like the neck and back. So that's what he focuses on. I always feel good afterwards, maybe even a little sore at times, but it's just one of those things too, where sometimes I feel like when I go the next day, it's just out again.
Yeah. And
it's just a grind to have to keep going consistently to be like, all right, this is going to get fixed now, or it feel better now.
That's like something that like they'll say too. Like you'll go to the chiropractor and they'll be like, that hip's off, or that's like, the hell you mean it's off? I've been walking around for a month and a half with a hip that's off. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously some of it's a little of whatever, but I do like it to reset. When I started going to the chiropractor recommended this woman who was a massage therapist here in town. And I think I told you about her. She was like, specialized in like athletes, lifters, runners, and did like that super deep, like, muscular massage. Did I ever tell you about the first time I went there?
I can't remember if you did. I don't know. Maybe. So, I think you have.
I'd never, this was probably 2 years ago at this point, maybe a little bit longer. I'd never had a professional massage. I'd never been to anything like that. So I booked it online. And when I went downtown, and I get there and it's like a business center. It's just like a I don't know, just a business plaza or center, whatever.
Yeah.
And I like walk in and I'm like, I can't be in the right place. So I'm like looking at the directory and it's like accounting firm, law office, and then like written on a piece of paper it said like massage.
Jesus.
So I was like, oh, that must be it. So I like wander around this building for a while and I'm in like shorts and a tank top and everyone else is walking around in like suits and stuff. And I'm like, man, something doesn't feel right here. But eventually I find it. I see this like glass door with nothing on it, but I see like a woman sitting inside and there's like, and I could like immediately tell it was like a massage. There was like plants and there was like a painting on the wall with like stones and like water cascading. I was like, okay, so this is
there. You go.
I go in. The lady's super nice, and she's like, I'll just take you into the next room here. This is where the table is. So it's just this small room inside of this already like small office.
Yeah.
I go in there, and it's just nothing but the massage table. There's nothing else in there. It's just this massage table, and I'm like, all right, well, yeah, that's what I kind of figured. And she's like, all right, you can go ahead. And oh shit, I got disconnected. Am I still here?
Did you?
It says reconnecting.
I think we're good.
So I go into the room and she's like, all right, you can go ahead and get undressed, lay on the table, and I'll come back in when you're ready. This is my first time going to a place like this. And I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, everything? Like I take off everything? And she like kind of because I'm sure she deals with it all the time.
Yeah.
She like kind of laughed and she's like, yeah, take everything off. She's like, because I'm going to like work on your low back or whatever. She's like, just, lay down on the table when you're ready. And I'm like, okay. So I take everything off. And then I don't know why, but I felt like weird because I'm like in this room with nothing but a table. And then now I have just a pile of clothes just like laying there, like my underwear, like laying on top. I'm like, this feels weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I fix this? So I just like kind of kicked it to the side of the room and then like put my hat on top. And I was like, there we go. That seems a little more professional. Just a nicely capped off pile of clothes. And then I was so worried about my clothes sitting there. I'm like, how was I supposed to lay down? And I was like,
you got to go
I
tell
guess
me
I lay
first.
down like, yeah, I was like, I guess face down. So I was like, all right, I'll lay face down. And then I get under, it's just it's a table and a single sheet. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this sheet now? I'm like, clearly I don't pull it up to my shoulders like I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I also don't want to have it like seductively draped at the small of my back.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess just like mid back. So I just laid it on the mid back and she came in, did the massage. It was fine. It was nice. She did like the scraping, the cupping, everything went really well. It was just an odd experience for me.
Well, I'm glad that you shared that because that terrifies me. I thought I'd just go in, strip down, put a little towel on my ass, and just lay there and kind of take it. But this is scary, intimidating.
Well, going into that situation, yeah. So for anyone who's never had one and you're planning on it, be prepared for a couple of those things to come up because they were things I'd never thought about before.
Damn.
But it was good. The cupping.
Were you like sore and shit after?
I was very sore the next day, and I had a lot of like bruising and stuff actually. Yep. But then it felt really good. I felt loosened up, kind of rejuvenated a little bit. Felt like I had a little more movement.
Good.
So I went like a few more times, and I would kind of pair it with when I went to the chiropractor. So like I'd schedule like the chiropractor and then the next day I'd do a massage. And I didn't go constantly. I did it a few times over like a a year.
Yeah.
But she, like that, it's not there anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It closed and she moved away. So I don't know. I might have got scammed. Someone just
maybe. Or bigger and better things, maybe too. Maybe she wanted to get out of that tiny room with a table in it.
I would assume the space probably wasn't ideal.
Jesus.
But, yeah, so anyone that's gonna embark on that journey, just a little heads up.
Jesus. So anything else like that you want to talk, to our listeners a little bit today? Like anything else that you feel like you're doing good at, or maybe that you'd like to improve on? I know we've talked like ice baths and things like that, and like we can go into that if you have something.
That was the last thing I was going to bring up. I've gotten really, really into the ice bath thing. You and I have talked about this. I played around with like the cold showers for like a couple of years, and I would kind of come and go on those. And I would go like months at a time with only taking an ice cold shower. But I just never, I don't know. I never felt like it made a huge difference.
Yeah.
It would give me like a burst of energy. It definitely would do that. But that was kind of the only thing that I really noticed doing it.
You didn't really feel that recovery side of it?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was getting anything in that sense. It was like a boost of energy, and then like mentally you just felt good.
Yeah.
Like a little clarity almost, like a wake up. So I like that aspect, but I started doing the cold pod with the ice bath stuff. And I think that's really good. I've enjoyed that, and I feel like I've actually felt like the benefits from it. There's a lot of stuff with that too. Like, there's all the things you can, boosted immune system, recovery for your muscles and joints.
Yep.
The big thing that a lot of people talk about with the cold plunge is the dopamine.
Yep.
When you go in there, it puts your body in this like shock state, and then there's apparently a delayed, prolonged like release of dopamine. Just
that feeling of feeling better, basically. Yeah. Your clarity's on, you feel good, you're a little happier. Yeah, all that stuff.
If you can do it first thing in the morning, it's a great way to like get your day going and get you started off and stuff. I will, I do it sometimes in the morning, and then sometimes I do it like late at night, and then I'll just go to bed like ice cold. Because they say one of the things too is it's good for your metabolism, because if you warm up naturally, because what they say is like don't cold plunge and then jump in a hot shower right after.
Yeah.
You want to let your body warm up naturally, because all the energy that you're using for your body to warm itself up, it's kind of kicking up your metabolism. So they say it's like a good way to help people. You want to shed a few pounds, like even though you're not doing anything, it just helps with that process.
Yeah. All these things that you've mentioned too are, things that I've tried at least once. I've actually never been to a massage therapist, so that is something that I want to try. But I feel like this part, and why I thought this was such like a important thing, not only for people listening, but for myself, is like everybody talks about it, but it's these things like it's so hard to get consistent with it.
Yeah.
And I'm so bad at really just diving into all this stuff consistently. And some of that is time. And some of that's just that mental hurdle of like, I got to do this every day to really get good at it. And that cold plunge thing, man, like anytime I've taken cold showers or cold baths, I hate it. Yeah. It's terrible.
Dude, if you can get yourself to do it, though, it's such like a mental win for the day. A lot of times, too, it's just like availability. Like, I love using a sauna.
Yep.
You and I have used the one here at the Fitness Factory, and I try to go over there at least a couple of times a week, and I like to use that because sauna has awesome benefits.
Yep.
they say like the more time you spend in a sauna, your risk of like heart attack and stroke goes down.
Yeah.
So it's cardiovascular stuff too. It's supposed to be super helpful with. Same thing as it's a shock, but on the opposite end. And it just gets your body to act in positive ways. But I can't do it every day. And like, that's the thing. It's like everything that you read about and you research, it's like, you got to do these things consistently. And it's just hard to do all of these. Like, I mean, unless you've got nothing else going on, like to wake up in the morning and stretch and drink some water and then get in the cold plunge and then go your workout, do your walk, then hit the sauna. Like it's a full-time job.
And then go to work.
I mean, if there's people who are doing all that stuff and working at the same time, I mean, that's awesome. Good for them. Yeah. But like, there's days
and I think
you can't do all that.
The cool thing about this is whether you work out or not is some of this stuff just has benefits, like you were saying, regardless of if you're working out and you're sore and all this stuff. So going to the chiropractor, doing a cold plunge. And I think one of the things that I got to just get better at is just committing to, even if it's a few days a week of doing some of those things, or if it's a chiropractor once a month or whatever it might be, is just committing to, all right, I'm going to do it this day. Maybe tomorrow or the next day after, I'm not going to do it. But, there's still some benefits, even if they're very, very small and minuscule compared to if I was doing it every day. And I think that's an important thing when talking about this stuff, is just trying to do it consistently, even if it's a little inconsistent in that, consistency type of thing. So, man, really good stuff. I need to get better at all this.
And just like trying the stuff out and like finding which ones are better for you and like which ones are the most doable. Like the best one's going to be the one you can stick with. Yeah. So it's just the kind of figuring that stuff out. But like you said, you don't even have to be like someone who works out or runs or does anything like that. If you might be someone who just hangs out all day, but you might like getting in the sauna or getting in a cold plunge. Like it's good for you, so you might as well do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it, man. And even going back to like the sleep thing, like just getting better sleep and, taking care of yourself that way. So really good stuff. So anything else, Bill, before we move on to the Rank It segment?
Oh, hang on.
We're trying to reconnect.
Reconnecting.
There we go. All right. Anything else, Bill, before we move on?
No, dude, I think that was it. I think we pretty much hit everything. I think I kept running here probably a little longer.
That's all right. No, that's all right. And if, maybe some listeners will skip over this part and just hit up the Christmas segment, that's all right too. So we're trying to hit a full range of people here. So, all right, Bill. So stick right there, buddy, and we're going to hop right in. We're going to bring Jordan Wollenberg in, Jordan Clark in for our Rank It segment. We're ranking the top 5 Christmas movies, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Do it.
And here they are. Here's the boys. The boys are back for the second segment of the Rank It with Christmas movies this week. Obviously, we got Jordan Clark, Billy Gardner, Jordan Wollenberg. Jordan Wollenberg already made an appearance on the podcast.
Sure did.
A little sneak peek. Popped into the first segment accidentally. It's good to see you guys. How you guys doing?
Good, MJ. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm ready to go. You guys ready for the holiday?
I know I was so eager to get here. I joined you a little early, just stopped in, so glad to be here on my scheduled time now.
There you go. Clarky is dressed the part. Clarky, how you doing?
I'm good, Matthew. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. All right. So we are ranking the top 5 Christmas movies in our opinion. And I know we probably all have some honorable mentions, so we're going to dive right into this. So I wrote down 2. There's hundreds. I think the most beautiful thing about Christmas movies is how kind of bad they all are in some way, shape, or form. They're very. That's all right. That's cool, man. It's fine. They're all a little tacky. They're all kind of some bad acting. Some Christmas movies, people argue if they're a Christmas movie or not. You got Gremlins out there. You got the original Batman movie with Michael Keaton. Some people say that's a Christmas movie.
Returns.
Die Hard.
Returns, not the original.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. So my honorable mentions, like I was telling these guys off camera a little, or off the live here, we were talking about, I think I could do this list 20 times and it might change, except for my number one. But I put National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation as an honorable mention. It's a classic. It's funny every single time. It was never really one of my movies that I really watched growing up too often. And I don't know if I just kind of missed the boat on it a little bit. But as I've watched it throughout the years, hit a scene here or there, watch the full movie, it always gives you a good laugh. It's got some classic characters and lines. That's an honorable mention. And I also got to throw in the Arnold Schwarzenegger Jingle All the Way. You guys know, like, even in the group chat, I constantly, with my tism, always Turbo Man. You know, like, I'm always doing that. It's so bad, but I love every part of it. So those are my two honorable mentions. So Wally, what do you got for your honorable mentions? And before, hold on. Cheers to the boys.
Cheers.
Sorry, Bill. There you go. Get your water in you. Get your water. All right, Wally, what do you got for us, buddy?
I had 7 honorable mentions that I felt like needed a mention.
Okay.
I also put Jingle All the Way and Christmas Vacation. Like you, Christmas Vacation was not a movie I don't know if I ever watched it growing up. Roommate is a big fan. It's her number one Christmas movie. I may not have ever seen it until I started dating her. Also threw on there Miracle on 34th Street for the old timies, Elf, Bad Santa, A Charlie Brown Kissed Christmas, and this is probably even more of a controversial pick, Lethal Weapon.
Whoa.
For an honorable mention.
Lethal Weapon, a Christmas movie?
Happens at Christmas time. The Christmas is a maybe not the most central theme, but a theme of the movie.
I mean, first of all, Miracle on 34th Street is not. I probably wouldn't take that in my top 20.
I just felt like you had to mention it. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just one of those movies, you know.
All right, Bill, what do you got?
So same thing as like Wally just said there. I put A Christmas Story just because I feel like you have to mention it, and it's like I feel like that's the one that's always on TV. Like
it's the 24-hour one, right?
Doing stuff.
Yep.
And then the other one I had was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It was just, okay. I like it, but I don't watch it a ton. And I think it's because it's just before, our time.
Yeah.
Clark is disgusted by the fact that we have all put that on the honorable mention.
Oh. I thought about him when I put it on my honorable mention list. I'm like, Clark's going to be pissed. He's going to be so mad. All right, Clarky, what do you got?
This is stuffing all over again. All right.
Crunchy stuffing?
I love stuffing.
Shut the fuck up.
And mine was not, by the way, this Thanksgiving. Nice mush stuff. So I have 3 on my honorable mention list. Actually, I have 4. One, I don't actually classify as a movie, but I have to shout out. It's Year Without a Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I love the claymations, but I don't consider movies because they're 45 minutes to an hour, but you give me the claymations, Rudolph, Frosty, all of them. I put those kind of together. I have Fred Claus, big fan of Claus. That movie just makes me laugh. And I have Home Alone 1 on my honorable mention, and then I have I love the movie Gremlins. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. It's not really a Christmas movie, but like Wally kind of said, it takes place during Christmas time, so I got Gremlins, Fred Claus, Year Without a Santa, and Home Alone 1.
I've actually never seen Fred Claus.
It's funny.
Yeah, I've never seen it. It's funny. Was that Vince Vaughn?
It's Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn? Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. All right. So Clarky, you're gonna start us off here, man. You got number 5. Let's get this thing rolling, boys.
All right, so number 5 for me, honestly, was never in my top 5 until the last 2 years, and I grew some respect for it. I always kind of resented it growing up, and I don't know why. It's one of those movies that everyone loves, but I didn't like that much. But I've started to like it growing as I get older here. I have Home Alone 2. Lost.
Home Alone 2. Great movie. Fantastic. Yep. Actually watched that one last night. It's fantastic. I tell you, I don't want to interrupt too much, but like the fight scenes, like the traps in that movie are awesome. The tool chest going down the stairs, the bricks, dude. Marv gets hit with 4 bricks from distance, like off the rooftop. It's so good.
Dude, have you ever watched? You ever watched like they did like a podcast or something like that a couple years ago where some like doctor came on and said how much Harry actually died or like been
he would have died with the first brick.
Oh yeah, dead. So like I was watching that movie with Laura like last week and I'm like, dead. She was getting pissed off. But yeah, number 5, Home Alone 2.
I love it. All right, Bill, what do you got for 5?
I have The Night Before.
Okay.
Ooh.
You guys know what that one is? It has Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and they're trying to make their way to the Nutcracker Ball. It's not new, but came out within probably the last 10 years.
Never seen it.
It's good. It's a rated R comedy, but it's a Christmas-based comedy, so I really enjoy it.
All right. Wally, what do you got?
Number 5. The Santa Claus.
Oh.
Love me some Tim Allen. Tim Allen and the Santa Claus is a fantastic movie. The sequels are something else, but the Santa Claus takes my number 5 spot. That was definitely a movie I might have even seen this movie in the theaters.
Yeah, I don't remember when that came out. I mean, we were young, I think.
1994.
Mid-90s.
Maybe not. Maybe not then. I probably didn't make the 94 year in the theaters.
Yeah,
at 3.5.
Showing.
Easy. That was born.
Born young blood. All right.
Maybe I didn't see it in the theaters then.
My number 5 is one that I think, Clark, you might be the only one that's familiar with this one. It's Arthur Christmas.
Yep. It's a good one.
It is a cartoon. It's newish, maybe within the last 10 years or so. And it's basically like Santa's youngest son is Arthur. Their last names is Christmas, Arthur Christmas. And he's kind of like the goofy, but all about Christmas. And he's got an older brother that's all this tech savvy stuff. And it's all these different things. And they're planning on him being the next Santa. It really has everything. It's a really solid movie. At the end, it's even a little like, you could get a little teary-eyed. It's super, super good. I really like it. The kids like it. And maybe I did think about when I put it in my list, I probably view it different now as like a dad with young kids. And, there's some aspects of like kids starting to not believe in Santa. There's this one little girl that kind of gets lost. She doesn't get a toy, and Arthur delivers, trying to deliver the toy to her. It kind of hits all like the touchy-feely stuff in it. It's really, really good. If you guys get a chance to check it out, I mean, I really like that movie. So for number 4, I had to put it on my list, and I was fighting between 3 and 4, but I'm going to stick with the 4 spot here with Christmas with the Cranks.
It's a good one.
Obviously, another Tim Allen movie. It's like the Christmas King here. I love that movie, and it's so bad, but almost every scene can make me laugh, and it's also super quotable. Like when he's poking himself after the Botox injection and all these different things. It's incredible. I love that movie. Wally, what do you got for your 4?
Number 4, I'm going with 4 Christmases. Vince Vaughn making his second appearance on the pod tonight, getting a call out. I love this movie.
Vaughn guy.
Vince Vaughn is my favorite comedy actor ever. And the scene in this movie where they're at his dad's house and his brothers are Favreau and Tim McGraw, and it delves into a fight, and they're trying to put the satellite dish on the roof. This is an incredible movie and does not get enough love.
It almost made my honorable mention. It is a good one.
Yeah, not enough love, like I said.
Dude,
all right, Bill.
I was wrestling him, and after he's done making him submit, he just throws the dollar bill down. That's one of the, and he like goes, throws the dollar down. It might be one of the funniest moments of a Christmas movie ever. So subtle, but so fun.
And that's the one too where they're playing what's the game that they're playing when he's like the
tube? Yeah, it's like you have to
guess what the tube.
Yeah, flip the tube.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, Bill, what do you got?
Number 4, I have Christmas with the Cranks. This wasn't one that I ever really watched until you started quoting it all the time around Christmas, and now it's always on TV.
So good.
I'm a big fan now.
All right, Clarky.
I think Wally and I have some fairly similar picks in this one. My number 4 is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. The sequels 2 and 3 are hot garbage. The first one, it's a great movie.
Fantastic. I mean, I love that movie. All right,
I will say, in the sequels, the robot Santa does make for a couple of funny moments. Beyond that, they're fucking terrible.
All right, Clarky, start us with the 3 spots.
As I said, I think Wally and I have pretty similar stuff. Number 3, I have 4 Christmases with Vince Vaughn. I quote that movie probably goes 1, 2, 3, and it fits nicely at number 3 for me. Movie's absolutely hilarious.
It is really good. I probably should have put that in my honorable mention. All right, Bill.
Number 3, I put Home Alone. I kind of just lumped them all together.
Yeah.
I think the first one's the best one. But they're like ones I actually enjoy. Like you said with the Santa Claus, like they're not great after the first one. I like all the Home Alones. So I just lumped them together and threw them in at number 3.
Walls?
My number 3 is also Home Alone. Will not be the last Home Alone to make my list, but I just want to point something out. Home Alone came out in 1990. It made $476 million in the box office. If you translate that to today's money, that comes out to $1 billion, 1,151. $1.1 billion in the box office.
Wow.
Thing brought home some cash.
Yeah, that's probably why he doesn't have to work anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, Home Alone, the first one, comes in my my middle slot.
All right, number 3, one that we don't have to stick around a long time with. It's the Santa Claus. I love the movie. You guys already talked about it. It's fantastic. It's, even the In Your Dreams Sleigh Boy, whatever. Like every part of it's so good. It's bad acting. I hate the kid actor in it though. Not a big fan of the kid.
He's bad.
Yeah, it kind of got Manny from Modern Family vibes, where it's just like I don't really love this character, but the rest of it's fantastic. And for number 2. And I don't know if I love this at my number 2, but if it's on, I always watch it. It's The Grinch with Jim Carrey. That's number 2 for me. I think, and maybe it's just because I've watched it so much, it's lost some of the wonder in it a little bit. But it's so good, man. He makes such a great Grinch, and it's got all the bells and whistles. It's corny. It's kind of bad acting, except for probably Jim. But I really enjoy that movie. Wally, back to you, buddy.
My number 2 is Home Alone 2. Home Alone 2 is a far superior movie to Home Alone 1. Everything Home Alone 1 does well, Home Alone 2 does better. As you said, the jinx and the traps in the house, the bricks. Harry, I've reached the top! I mean, the kerosene, not only the paint cans coming, but then the big bar, which then falls down the hole. Everything about Home Alone 2 is slightly better than Home Alone 1. And, on top of it all, D-Dog's in there. Trump Daddy is in there to point in the right direction. So, Home Alone 2 holds my number 2 spot.
Dude, the kerosene part, when they're climbing down that rope, and he's like, "Harry, you have on aftershave?" He's like, "No, it's the rope. It's
soaked in kerosene.
Why would somebody soak the rope in kerosene? All right, Bill, up to you, buddy.
What are we at? 2?
Oh, okay.
Number 2, I have 4 Christmases.
A lot of appearances.
Yeah, dude, I love that movie. I can watch that movie. It doesn't have to be Christmas. Any time of the year. The quotable lines and some of the dialogue in that is just it's that like classic, like it's like right around the same time as I want to say like Wedding Crashers, slightly later, but it's that really good Vince Vaughn dialogue that you get in his type of humor.
Can I give you the run Vince Vaughn was on?
Let's go.
In making 4 Christmases. He old school in 03. In 04, he's in Starsky and Hutch, Dodgeball, shows up in Anchorman. 05, he's in Be Cool, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Wedding Crashers. 06, he's in The Breakup. 07, Fred Claus. 08, 4 Christmases. 09, Couples Retreat.
Damn.
Just hammers.
Crushing it.
Underrated there.
I was banging Jen Aniston at that time for a little stretch, too.
Hell
just
yeah.
Crushing it.
There are some really good movies in there.
Yeah, most of them. The only one I hadn't seen, I think, was Fred Claus. So I got to get on that one. All right, Clarky, take us home with your number 2 and number 1.
I'm not trying to prolong this, dude.
You're all right.
My favorite quote in Home Alone 2, by far, is when he goes and sees the lady with the birds in the middle of the park, and he turns around. The only thing he says is, "Sick!" and runs. That is the funniest.
That's so good.
Sick. And then in 4 Christmases, I can't quote it exactly, but my brother Nolan does it all the time. When he goes to the mom's house and the grandma's there and she's like grabbing on Vince Vaughn, and he says, if you guys know what it is, you can take it away. He says something like, "And that little bird on your perch is Graham." Dude, that is the funniest. Vince Vaughn's little quirk and like little dialect lines are so funny in that freaking movie. All right, for number 2 for me, I mean it's pretty set in stone. It's honestly, besides the Austin Powers movies, I think I quote this movie the most of any other movie that has ever existed. And MJ, you took part of that one time during one of our in-services. It's The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
Hell yeah.
I'll watch that 7 times during Christmas time. That movie is... Jim Carrey's so good. So I got to go with The Grinch.
I love that. Good pick, man. All right, Bill. Number 1, baby. Number 1.
Number 1, The Santa Claus. That is by far my favorite Christmas movie. That could have been 1 through... I'll watch The Santa Claus 10 more times before the year is over. I had to buy it the other day because I get pissed every year because Disney Plus has it, and I don't have Disney Plus because I'm like, I'm not going to buy Disney Plus to just watch the Santa Claus because that's the only reason I would get it. So I had to purchase it, and now I will watch it several times before the year is over.
What do you mean? You don't want to spend $100 a year or something just for one movie? You don't want to do that?
I would for that movie.
DVD or Blu-ray, or we'd buy it digitally?
Digitally.
Okay.
I think I used some of my Amazon credits to purchase.
There you go. I have purchased many movies that way.
Yeah, that movie is just far and away my favorite. It makes me like. It's the only one I feel like that actually like for me, like it's funny, but it also there is a touch of like. It reminds me of actual like Christmas stuff. Like it's a movie like that my family watched like growing up because we were a big like Home Improvement family, so we loved that movie. We had it on the VHS, and it got wore out. So that's the top dog there.
It's a great pick. All right, Wally, give it to me. I already know this one. Go ahead.
It's a Christmas movie. It's set at Christmas. There's Christmas music. There's a man wearing a Christmas hat. I have a machine gun now. Ho, ho, ho. Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. It's a phenomenal movie, and it's a Christmas movie. I'm sorry if you don't like that. It's just a fact of life.
I see nobody had it in their list at all, right?
It's not my problem. You guys are all wrong.
I just don't know, man. If it's on the border of being a Christmas movie, I can't.
It's not on the border. There's no border. It's so far past the border. Bill's got to go get it tomorrow morning and send it back.
That was pretty good. I knew, like, asking you guys to come on, like, I was telling people, I'm like, well, I already know Wally's. When he comes on, it's going to be Die Hard.
I knew 100% what it was going to be.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised with Clark's, though, because I thought Clark's was going to be Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to give my top pick whenever you're done, because I haven't yet.
I was going to say, I didn't think Clark gave his, but I was like, maybe I wasn't paying attention.
That's not bad, dude.
Clark,
let's go. Number one. Go ahead, Clarky.
My number one is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
There it is.
You're stupid for not having it in your top 5, because that movie is fantastic. It's funny as hell. You gotta watch it, dude. That's the best Christmas movie of all time.
I've watched Christmas Vacation more than I ever used to the last couple of years, and it gets better each time that I watch it.
You gotta watch the uncensored version too. That's key, because the censored version on TV is great. But
the bend over and I'll show you.
Funny ass movie, dude.
It's so good.
Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I haven't seen this uncensored version.
Oh yeah,
I think I've only ever watched it on TV.
Yeah, you can't watch the TV version.
It's on one of the on Max or Disney Plus or one of the. But it's on.
Okay. All right. My number one, boys. We're going to finish this list off. You guys all mentioned it, and I lumped them together, Home Alone 1 and 2. And the reason I lumped them together is they're basically the same movie. Kid gets lost or left behind. Kid destroys the bad guys and meets back with his mom. The only I lean a little Home Alone 1, and the only reason is it's the original, and I think, honestly, the plot is a little bit more realistic. If you watch and pay close attention to Home Alone 2, it's absolutely ridiculous to think. So all these things had to happen. He goes through his dad's bag at the airport. He stops to put batteries in the little recorder machine. Then there happens to be a man who looks the same, wearing the same trench coat, running in the airport just like his dad.
The also running is always my favorite part.
The only guy in the airport other than his family running is the guy that looks just like his dad. Then he happens to take out the flight attendant right at the gate. All the tickets fall down. And then the flight attendant takes him on the plane and says, "Do you see your family?" And he just goes, "Yeah, that's my dad up there." And she's like, "Okay, have a nice flight." Like, it's ridiculous, the aspect that he got into a different city more than it is when he just got left at home because they slept through an alarm and were rushing around and accidentally counted wrong or something. But they're phenomenal. Like I said, Home Alone 2, the main scenes are probably a little bit better than 1, but I absolutely love 1 and 2, kind of the same thing. I'm going to probably watch them another 3 or 4 times before Christmas is done and over with, and that's my list, and I'm sticking to it.
Can I make one more comment on the Home Alones?
Yeah, of course.
I agree. I almost want to say that the stuff leading up to, like, the final, like, battle scenes, if you will, is better in Home Alone 1, except for the fact of the hotel staff in Home Alone 2, like Tim Curry, Rob Schneider. They are so fucking good. And the scene where Kevin's parents get to the hotel and they're like, "What kind of idiots work at this place?" And Tim Curry goes, "Only the finest."
Yeah.
That part kills me. And I just watched it right before this pod, too.
The part that they go into Kevin's hotel room and he puts on that fake movie with the, filthy animal, whatever, give it to count of 3 or whatever. And they're diving on the floor, like crawling, and they're like, "Get back in your rooms. There's a madman in the and they're not even moving their legs. They're just all crawling just on their forearms. It is really good. So that has to be my number one, and it's fantastic. So anything else from you guys?
National
All right, boys.
Best movie.
Oh, I forgot one honorable mention. I forgot to mention this.
You
Rocky
listed
4.
7.
Rocky 4.
All
I
right.
can get on board with that one.
Final fight is on Christmas Day. Where's the fight? The fight's in Soviet Union. When? Christmas.
All right. Okay. Honorable mention. All right.
And Rocky drapes himself in that.
No
You
love
left-
the claymation.
You left that off, but went with Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh shit! Bill left.
He left. He was so pissed. He left.
He's gone. All right, boys. All right, we'll end it there. I appreciate you guys very much. We'll try to get Bill back in here at some point, but I appreciate you guys. Thanks for doing this. That was Rank It with Jordan Wollenberg, Jordan Clark, and Billy Gardner. We'll see you guys for the next one. All right.
See you guys.
All right. See ya. All right, guys. So hopefully you guys had a lot of fun listening to the pod today. I know it was a long episode. I hope you stuck with us to the end. I want to thank Jordan Wollenberg for interrupting almost every second. I'm ready for him to pull into our little closing here. I want to thank Jordan Clark, Billy Gardner for the workout wisdom in the Rank It segment for the Christmas movies. Please, again, like, subscribe. If you search on YouTube, search the Ole Walls House Podcast, you'll find the FullRange Podcast under his. If you're listening to us on Spotify, you can search the FullRange Podcast. Just type in FullRange Podcast, FullRange being one word. Like it, make a comment, find us on YouTube, like, subscribe, listen to our buddy Ole Walls House Podcast with Jordan Wollenberg. Listen to him on there. We'll be back next Thursday, right before Christmas, talking a bunch of different things. So we'll keep that episode a little lighter and a little shorter. So thank you for sticking with us. I appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.